All right. Hello and welcome to the Spartan Canada Podcast. It is an exciting episode. We have Connor Bell here with us. We also have Amber and I, and we are discussing lots of Spartan things tonight, including Connor's awesome series finish this year. Sorry, I had to spit that one out. Connor did some amazing work throughout the Canadian National Series. We'll also talk a little bit about the Blue Mountain Race that's coming up this weekend. And as well, we want to give some info to all of the listeners who are brand new to Spartan Race. I see tons of questions online, the same thing over and over. What should I be wearing? Should I bring carry things? Should I have food? Should I have water? We're going to talk about that stuff as if it's your first race, what you should be doing the night before, because when we post this, it'll probably be the night before. And also, let's get you pumped for this amazing, sunny, awesome weekend. So hello there, Connor. How are you?
I'm good. If I look like a tomato, I just came back from Myrtle Beach and it was super sunny during those days. So I'm looking at my screen, my complexion, and I'm like, oh my gosh, at least my teeth look really white. That's good.
They do.
Nevertheless, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Awesome.
Good.
Super pumped for the weather this weekend. I last year at Blue Mountain, it was crazy. If it was your first Spartan race last year and you did Blue Mountain, I'm sorry for your luck. Think of it as just a challenge and you made it through. And if you signed up a second time, you are hardcore.
100%. Yeah, that was filthy out there. Super, super
Yeah,
fun
and we're talking
conditions.
about the weather here, not about the course. The course was
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. The course
Yes.
designers, Nick, everybody did a great job with the course, but it
Yes.
was a mud pit.
You can't predict weather. You just don't know. That's why I always tell people to, like, on those days where it's like either super hot or super cold or rainy, like sometimes those are the most important ones to go out because usually that's the Spartan weather that you get regardless. So
Exactly.
yeah.
It's why
Yeah.
I'll have days where I'm training and it's wet and cold, and I'm like, I'm just getting on the treadmill. And then some of those days I say, no, you're getting your butt out the door and you're going to run in this ridiculous weather just to be prepared for whatever. Because you know what? Nobody cares in Spartan race whether it's hail or storms. Just kidding. They actually do care, but I think they'd rather us have a great time, but they also don't care if it's hailing and snowing and water.
Well, the
I
good
have
news is it's not doing any of that this weekend.
hell yeah.
It's going to be
For
Ex-
like
one.
30 degrees and sunny, which it was 2 years ago. It's like every
Mhm.
other year you guys get really lucky with Blue Mountain weather. Or I shouldn't say
Hmm.
that. You always
And
get lucky,
you know what? When it is good weather at Blue Mountain, it is the best day ever. Like I am looking forward to the best day, the best weekend, because there's no rain in the forecast. Cross your fingers. I'm not
I will
jinxing it.
say, as far as venues go around Canada too, like there's something I think that all of us like take, if they call it like Spartan Ontario with Blue Mountain. The venue area is sweet, and there's just so much area to cover with respect to the course too. That there's, I don't know, you can switch up the course however you want, or however Nick does, and it always comes out different in some retrospect. So it's fun. There's a lot of variety to it.
And
Yeah,
this
and
year
let's
there's
talk about that actually, the
hmm,
race maps, because we have them in front of us, and Blue Mountain is known for the like awful vertical climbs. I mean, awesomely
Okay.
vertical climbs. They're great.
amazing.
But looking at the map, I mean, the Beast has 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 almost full climbs, it looks like this year.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's
That's
good to
going to
put
be
in the brain.
spicy. That's going to be spicy. And it looks like the Beast is ending with like almost a full climb, and then you come back down and you're pretty much there. So that's like extra spicy because you're kind of at the point where you're like, oh my God, I have to do this again.
And
Yeah.
actually, I was listening to Nick today, and he said that mudslide that we all went down at the end of the race this year, we're going up it. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Especially fun if it's not raining, my goodness, and you got good grip. Shout out to
Mhm.
VJ shoes. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a pair of VJs. I also have the Spartan, the craft ones. They have a new pair. It's got the Vibram sole grip, and it is the best shoe I've ever had out of all of my race shoes.
We're gonna talk about equipment at the end too, so maybe
Yeah,
we should
let's get
hold
there.
it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Let's start by let's recap your national series,
Cool.
Connor, because
Well,
Connor
yeah.
had some big year.
Yeah, so they did a national series for age groups and for elites as well, too, or pros, if you will. This is my first year going into the pro side of things with respect to Spartan. And they did a 10K in Mont Tremblant at the beginning of the season, a 5K in Red Deer, and then a 21K in Kelowna. Oh my goodness, for anyone who was even there just to survive that race, that was absolutely nuts. The 10K in Mont Tremblant was great. It was a great technical race map to go through. Unfortunately, I missed a couple of the obstacles that I don't usually miss, like the monkey burst. I slipped off when the bell went one way. I
Oh,
hit my hand
yes.
and missed that. I think we talked about that before. The
Yes.
5K in Red Deer is sweet. I always love that course. As much as it's kind of difficult to get there sometimes, it's one of those ones that I don't know. You like the flat, and people call it flat, but there's still a lot of rolling terrain. And the end of that course has one huge incline stairs that just destroys you mentally. But the one I think that the best one to talk about is the 21K in Kelowna, which actually played out like 23K, especially because we were all failing every single obstacle by the end. One guy came up to me, so it was in the beginning, and it was well, Brendan Neely came out to me and he looked at me in just a shirt and he goes, "Are you wearing that just to the top of the mountain?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Things warm up pretty quick." And he goes, "Man, it's like -10 at the top of the mountain. It's like a blizzard up
Oh,
there." And I was like, "No way." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're gonna want to get a jacket right now." So here I got 7 minutes to the beginning of the race. I run over to the tent. I take my girlfriend's credit card. I go buy a coat as fast as I can. This coat saved my life. Oh my God. I got to the top and it was like hailing at the top there, like just blizzarding in your face. Yeah, your grip got really screwed really fast. You couldn't do anything about it with your gloves. They got wet, they got cold. You kept trying to like hold them in your armpits, under your knees, and your privates and all that good stuff. And you couldn't do anything about it. And then we all got to the end and you just couldn't do anything. Like I was lucky to climb the rope. I did, what did I do? I did Twister. I don't know how I did Twister. I got to beat her, slipped off right away, slipped off the Z wall. Just nothing was working, and I happened to make it through multi-rig. But luckily, by the end of it, I think I came fourth in that race, and it clinched me third for the national series. So yeah, no,
amazing.
it was fun. It was a really good experience. I think they're switching things up a little bit next year with respect to like how many races you have to get to on certain sides of Canada and
Mhm.
America. They did the U.S. National Series as well too. But yeah, it was a really cool experience. It was really cool racing against those guys in like a very competitive domain because I've seen them a lot before.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's funny because I feel like I don't think there's any really bad will against anybody in the whole racing space of OCR or hybrid in general. But it's
Mhm.
funnier. I feel like the more intense or professional we'll say it gets, the more humble people get and the more everyone's really good, my type of people, very supportive, and I really enjoy that about the sport too. So yeah.
Absolutely. I can agree with that. And
Yeah.
that's with a lot of high level sports too. When you get to a certain level, like in many sports, the top of the top are not bullying each other. They're not mean to each other. They are supporting each other because they know if you grow, they grow as well. Of course,
Yeah, there's
they're
no respect.
competitive and we can all have some banter together, but
100%.
yeah, that's amazing. What a cool experience. And congratulations on your third place elite because we talked last year and you were kind of on the fence about do I do this?
Yeah.
And then you were sort of forced to get into that. So how exciting is that?
Yeah, it was cool. Super cool.
Amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
congratulations, and we will have another discussion about what the series will look like next year, because that's changing, of course, because you have to adapt to change. It's the Spartan way, isn't it?
It is. Truly at this point, yes, it is. Yeah.
Awesome. So let's talk about a little bit about Blue Mountain because obviously that's coming up. We started with that. Let's get into some of the obstacles that we're going to be seeing. We all know what's coming. People always ask about the different obstacles. Would you say are the hardest obstacles? Amber, what is your hardest obstacle?
Oh, for me?
And she's a gymnast. Let's just
Well,
go
that's
there. So.
that's where this is unfair because I have to say the spear throw because I'm good at the other obstacles.
So if you are a gymnast, you need to come into OCR, just get your running up and
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the spear throw is just they always place that at such a spot where like you're mentally drained, so your accuracy, your focus is already kind of gone, and those are two big like factors when it comes to the spear throw. So I always say, those who attest that it's not a good test of athleticism, I think it is. I think it very much is. And I
It
think the way
is.
they place it is always very strategic. So I
And
have to say the spear throw is going to suck this weekend.
You can train the spear. So I just saying, I know a lot of people hate it. And I'm also going to jinx myself just because I like to do that. But I'm 7 for 7 in spears this year.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 7 for 7.
I went 1 for 7 last year.
This is my best year at them, but I do practice the spear. I practice the spear as much as I can. So
okay.
Go ahead. You do yours
Sorry,
first.
you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so one year I went like 2 for 10, and last year I think I went like 8 for 9 or something like that. I don't even know what my record is this year, but I can tell you right now, I have hit like 100 in a row at practicing, and then got to 2 races and missed them both and been like, what the hell? So now part of me, I have that spear out there for tomorrow, and I'm like, do I go practice it tomorrow, or do I just play psychology in my mind and don't touch the damn thing and hope that I just like have a memory recall? I'm like, yeah, here we go, and just whip it.
Yeah. I think you need to practice it like fatigued though, because they're never going to put it while you're fresh and you can focus and you're feeling good. Like you have to like go hit some crazy like sim and then be like, hey, now I'm going to try and hit the spear throw and then see how it goes. Oh, you do?
I have a really weird thing that I do, and maybe it'll be helpful to someone else, but I did a lot of music in school, so I have like a lot of rhythm in my brain. I can actually think of what the rhythm and what my body sounds like when I'm doing it. So when I'm doing the spear, I do that rhythm. And for some reason, I think it's like a brain trickery thing, but it's a weird, yeah, it's a dance basically.
If somebody got up to that spear and they did some type of like left step, right step, take a spin and throw, and they hit it every single time, I would die. I'm like, whoa, okay, this is perfect.
Maybe I'll do a tutorial on that, and I'll tell you what my rhythm is.
That's a basketball player.
I'll definitely do that. I'll make it like a sing-song kind of thing, because it actually is like I can think of the pattern, but it's really weird, and it's done exactly the same. But now you watch.
Actually, since you're the professional, where do you hold the spear? Do you hold it in the middle?
I actually hold it. I hold 2 together. The front hand is just to keep it steady, and the back hand drives it. But if I don't do that, then I don't have the balance with it. So I don't know why. It was just never comfortable. So I actually use 2 hands. So my back hand drives it, and it's actually all hips. I use complete hips in that. And so I actually take 2 little steps. So that's my little rhythm kind of thing. I do like a gallop kind of thing. I know it sounds weird, but it's working for me. Now you watch. I've said this, and spear, by the way, is the only obstacle at the festival because this year Blue Mountains spread everywhere, which is really cool. So if you're a spectator, you're going to have an awesome time going around the village and stuff, and you can eat lunch and watch the A-frame, and it'll be fun. But the spear is in the spectating area in the village. So now that I've said that, I better at least get one of them.
Windshield coming.
Yeah, no pressure, because you've just talked yourself up. Now you're gonna have thousands of people watching you.
I'm so great at the spear, everyone, and Phil.
Anyway. Okay, well, the actual, like, I feel like what generally is the hardest, if we're talking like super and beast, Olympus is generally a tricky one, especially like if the weather conditions aren't favorable. I do find like people struggle there, but good thing is it's going to be good weather this weekend. So
yes,
and
Olympus is
definitely one.
Olympus is first this year, so you can take that as a good thing or a bad thing.
Wow.
They did us good that time. Yeah. So it was like last time. It was before the last climb.
Yeah. Actually, I am looking at it right now. It is first, and then even they have Bender at the beginning too, actually.
And Box and Stairway to Sparta. They have all these ones that are seriously difficult in the beginning, which is interesting. But
okay, but guess where the spear throw is after I did The very end.
I
So
know. Last one. So if you're
Yeah.
close to someone, you're racing competitively, you better make that damn spear throw. You better do the do you pronounce your last name Sargent? Is it Jill
Yes,
Sargent? You do the
yeah.
Sargent method, essentially. Little 10-second song in your head, do a spin,
Yep.
and just throw it.
It's a little weird. It's a little
Close your eyes.
weird, but it's working.
But you know what? Okay, looking at this, so if we're talking about the beast and the super, even the sprint, it looks like the end is gonna, like, you're not gonna lose your rhythm a whole lot because you've got like Atlas carry, vertical cargo, sandbag carry, slip wall, dead wall, like nothing that's really gonna like ruin your rhythm a whole lot
Yeah.
on those last few K. So it might be a fast race at the end, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it comes through the village, like the actual main village. And I know that Nick and his team has been trying to get it into the main village since 2020,
Yeah.
when things changed over. And slowly they've been gaining the trust of the village. And this year they've got a lot of stuff in there. So that will be really fun, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
What is your hardest obstacle for you, Connor? Do you have a hardest one,
Well,
or
the
is
whole
it Olympus?
conversation, which we just kind of went through there, like I think I practice spear throw more than like any of my else.
Yeah, okay.
Probably my most failed obstacle out there. It depends. You can get there and it's a good day, sometimes it's a bad day, especially they use the American obstacles in Canada. So only on Red Deer's course. Because I think
Okay.
the way that whatever they have there, so it has the spear throw target in which has the circle.
Oh,
And I am
game changer.
to hit that yet. Shout out Pat for hitting that twice and beating me both times there. Yeah, but nevertheless, it's okay, it's all good. I would say that the most difficult one for me, like I've never failed Olympus before. But the ones that I have failed, I failed Stairway to Sparta one time. I'm just looking at the list now. If you're gonna do the beast and you're not in high socks for Tyrolean Traverse and you're polar, you better watch yourself because you will rip the heck out of your Achilles and your calves. For those who don't know, Tyrolean Traverse is the long rope in which you hang yourself like a little monkey and you pull yourself. Some people just leave their legs crossed and pull and pull and pull. I actually use that method. That's where I wear long socks. Other people do like a roll one foot over the other type of thing. They don't rope burn the shit out of themselves, which is probably smart. But other than that, I would say the box. I'd say the box is the most underrated
Yeah.
difficult obstacle that people don't think about, and then they get to and they see how tall it is and they see how the thing is aligned. And again, for those who don't know, the box rope coming down, the rope is there. It can be used if you know how to use it correctly. Otherwise, it's more of a jumping technique to get yourself onto the middle bar truss that's there and then just pulling yourself up. I mean, depending on your size, your technique is big. For me, what I've done now, because I've taken workshops with a few of you guys before, I loop the rope now and I hold the rope at the top and then I put one foot in the loop and then I just push myself up and grab the bar. It is a game changer, an absolute game.
Totally.
Yeah. People look at me when I do it now, and then I'll come beside them. I'll be like, what's this guy doing with the rope? And as long as you find the longest rope, you're good to go.
You're good.
Don't need to throw one. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, it's good. I even find it's a stretch when you're not that tall too. Like even if you get over and grab the bar that's in the middle of the box. So it's normally when you grab up top, you can grab the ridge, but this is the middle. So you've got to reach right in. That's still a huge stretch when you're not that tall too. So
For sure.
for me, I use a lot of flexibility in that one. Like if it wasn't for flexible hips and legs. So that helps me. Another technique that I learned at actually Tough Mudder, my last lap of the World of Tough Mudder was the person who, basically they have that, I forget what it's called. I should know it, but it's basically the skateboarding ramp that you run way up. What is that called? Why am I gapping that?
Oh, like a half pipe.
Yeah, the half pipe. Okay,
Yeah.
so, but there's a name for it. Anyways, I'll put it in the notes or something. You run up it and you can grab, and most people don't, they run up and then there are a lot of people there to grab you and pull you up. But there was a girl there, she's actually Canadian, she was helping all night. She's like, if you want, push your foot into the knot and stand on the knot and push into the wall. and then just climb your way up the knots. So you're standing on the knot, but you're putting friction into the wall. It actually gives a shelf on the wall. And I think you could do the box that way too. So I was able to climb that my way up there. It was very, very cool. I was very happy because it was like the last lap too. So Everest, it's called Everest.
Yes. I wish that they didn't put, and I know that they put it there for safety regulations. This is nothing against Spartan Canada. There's a very small piece of padding at the bottom of the box when you jump off sometimes. If it was flat ground, for myself, it'd be nice to just like pounce off, but you get no jump off of this padding. So it takes away your power. And I'll do it so many times they go to jump up. I'll just jump this thing. And I jump and I go like that high. And I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna work to do it like this.
Yeah, that would not work for myself. I'm not sure. Maybe Amber with her gymnastics skills. What is your technique for that? Do you just kind of climb up it and
the box?
Yes.
Yeah, I just like kind of climb up the rope.
She's like, it's easy.
I kind of do like a J hook type thing.
Oh yeah,
reach up and then swing my leg over, but I J hook on the rope climb. So, but again, I'm not crazy tall, like so.
No.
That works for me. I've never had an issue there.
Yeah, I've done it that way
too. Sometimes it's hard to reach the middle bar because I don't have very much like withstand. But yeah, I feel like if you just get your one leg up and over, you're good. You're clear sailing from there. So whatever you got to do, just get your leg up on that box and you're good.
Exactly.
Doesn't not have to be pretty. You just got to get up there.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at this. I mean, yeah, the box is definitely like an underrated one. Another one I find that they make tricky is the bucket carry. I feel like they find ways to make the bucket carry in like extra fun conditions, you know, like
fun. I like how you kept that nice.
Yeah, so I'm curious what that's gonna look like. Let me see where it is on the map. Actually, number 12. It's at the top of the hill.
Yeah, we've had some pretty serious.
So I bet you're going down the hill a little. I bet you.
I think so too.
Yeah, just like this year, I feel like they've been in places where they felt like they've gone on for way too long because, like you said, it's an unassuming one. You get there and you're like, okay, it's a bucket carry. I do this every day, right? But and then it's bucket carry through like the craziest weeds up a hill, rolling through trees in a tunnel. No, just kidding. But it feels like that.
For the bucket carry, I feel like my biggest thing is just inevitably I always feel like there's always going to be a downhill and uphill portion, even though sometimes they do like a flat, but there's almost always a little bit of rolling terrain. I just look at the ground when I'm going uphill. I'm like, and I just like, this is probably going to be like 100 steps. I just like guesstimate it. I'm like, I'm just going to count to 100 lunges in my mind. Whatever happens here happens. If it goes more, then I can cry later, but it is what it is. Like, yeah.
I do the same thing on the hill climbs. Like, and then every so often you look up and you're like, wow, look how far I've come. You know?
You're so talented.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've gone 3 steps. I counted 100. I've gone 3.
You're like, honestly, Jill, I feel like you might say that, but like then people will see you on course and be like, how is she all the way up there right now? Maybe even into an ultra as well too. Yeah. If anyone doesn't know, Jill's the ultra queen. You should all know this.
She is. Actually, let's talk about hill climbs for a sec.
Like that.
We should.
Because like the vertical at Blue is generally pretty vertical. So I don't know about you guys, but I generally like rule of thumb, I pretty much just power hike the climbs. I find it's actually faster and more efficient. Do you guys?
Oh yeah, me too.
Do you walk? Do you power hike? What's your approach?
There's like a fine line, I think, depending on the grade of it. Like anyone will say, and I've heard it on a few different podcasts before too, from like elite level guys as well too, that they say that like that 8 to 10% is almost like the worst, because it's like you said, Amber, if it's steep enough, power hike it, right?
Absolutely.
And if it's flat enough, you're gonna run it. But if it's like little weird 8 to 10%, it screws with your mind a little bit, right? So you do have the option into which to power hike or to run too. I have heard people like Jesse Bruce say that like they'll switch in between every minute. They'll go like a minute of power hiking, a minute of like slow jogging, a minute of walking, a minute of power hiking, and kind of go back and forth to change up muscle groups that are not being hopefully hit too hard and overused. But for these hills, like if we're all talking about Blue Mountain specifically, they're going to be pretty steep for the most part of it. You're going to be power hiking a lot of it. So putting your hands down on your knees and just kind of trudging through is kind of what this takes for this course. especially on Hill 4 that I've heard. That's just a shout out to anybody on Hill 4 right there. When you get to the fourth big climb, which I believe is at kilometer 8, or sorry, it's at I'm sorry, it's at kilometer 12. I think that might be Hill 3. Looking at the map right now, when you get to kilometer 12, your halfway-ish mark, that hill is very, very steep. It's just like straight up, and it's a little bit technical as well too. So that one is like, for those doing the beasts, props to you.
And that one looks like in the beast, you just basically go up to come right back down.
Yeah, lovely.
I love when they do that.
And since it's changed, we can't really say if it's going to be runnable or not, unless, because it's a little bit different this year. So we will let you know after.
Well, and then here's a fun thing too. Like, not only do you go up the hill, you go down the hill. And I know there's so many different ways people go down, especially, again, these are pretty steep hills. It's not like it's a gradual. I know some people just like open up and full on go. Others are a little bit more cautious. Some do that like gallop technique. What do you guys do on the downhills, specifically Blue, because that's what we're talking about, so steep downhills?
It depends on where, because Blue Mountain generally, like if I'm thinking last year, it was mud. There was not a lot of runnable downhill, which is not my favorite. But personally, I use kind of that galloping technique when it's really steep, but then I'll just run fast once the grade comes a little bit down and it's still a little bit dangerous, I will start running it, is my take. But then I do have like a really fast gallop as well. But
yeah, I agree with you for sure, especially with last year's terrain. I think it depends on where you are in. To be honest, the more grip you can get on some type of terrain, the faster you can bomb. Like, if you've done this enough, and if you haven't, it's your first time, like, and you're watching this right now too.
Don't bomb it.
The more you do downhills, the more you'll know what grip can handle with your shoes and how fast you can go. Because sometimes we even contemplate, like, is that a steppable place? And you'll get a little bit of a slip and you go, no, not a bombing place. I need to gallop this right now. But then there's other points where you can see thickness of grass, and it's like, or you can see some type of like stone or something that you're not going to slip on, that you're like, okay, like this I can bomb a little bit. But I'm relatively I like play a little bit of a chess game in my head where I'm like, okay, I'm looking a couple steps ahead as to know where I can like move around to get as much grip as I can. If you're doing this competitively, you know that a lot of time can be made up on the uphills, but specifically the downhills. If you can bomb those downhills, you can make up a lot of time, but be safe. Obviously,
yeah, if you see leaves are, check it first. If you're running on leaves, wet leaves that have fallen, and I just know that because I run a lot in the trails and I fall sometimes. So leaves are a no.
Right back up every time. And what they say, if you can fall on your back, if you can look up, you can get up. Motivational quote from Con coming at you.
Love that. And actually, I have had a few epic falls, but luckily I've done a lot of jujitsu and martial arts, so I know how to do like basically the tuck and roll really well. So, but yeah.
That's a good one too. Well, last year I really enjoyed the slip and slide technique. We got
that was hilarious.
Sit on our butts and slide down the hill. That was a freaking blast. Like, you literally could not even this was on the Sunday of the weekend, and it was just such a blast. But okay, speaking of slipping, let's talk about shoes for a minute. I mean, trail shoes, highly recommend.
Yes.
Running shoes at Blue Mountain. I mean, if it's your first one and you're doing the 5K, maybe bring ones you don't care to throw out. But definitely, like, if you're thinking to try and like give yourself a good shot at a good time, like, you're gonna need some trail shoes.
For sure.
What brand do you guys wear? Just out of curiosity.
You guys already know mine.
I have multiple pairs, like I said, for different reasons, but I do have a couple of the Spartan shoes just out of convenience. And I find that the grip on the Spartan craft shoes are better than the ones that I've experienced with other companies, especially in the mud. So I even got another pair of shoes from another company this year. I won't say it, and they were specific for mud, and I could not actually climb up. I wore them the second lap of the ultra. I could not climb up the slip wall. I could not climb that
Wait. You're not going to say that you're the brand because you're going to be nice to the brand?
I'm going
But
to be nice to the brand. I don't want to say
wow,
that, but
very
I
nice.
could
I would
not
slam the
slip.
brand.
I actually won the shoes, so you could probably look back in my history and see
There you
that
go.
stuff.
Everybody
But
will find it. What the
I
comments on
like
what brand you
them,
think it
but
is. But
yeah,
Yeah.
any metal they slipped on. So I know
wow.
that the Spartans are good. The VJs are good for that. They were designed for
Mhm.
that as well too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those.
no.
Go ahead.
I like the Spartan ones too because they actually drain too.
mhm.
So I wear the Spartan Craft ones as well. Love them. I've had them for several years actually. They've done me well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I've put those shoes through some pretty aggressive races, but um anyways, I mean, if you're going for the first time, you guys obviously don't stress. You can get shoes at the merch tent as well if this is something you think you're gonna want to keep doing after, which you're gonna want to
Mhm.
keep doing after because that's how the sport goes.
Yes.
I've seen people even just wearing cleats, like soccer
Me
cleats
too.
out
hmm
there. And if this is your first race that actually,
Do
and
it.
you're just testing the waters, that would be a better option than running, like
Yeah.
wearing
You
running
just
shoes.
can't wear spikes, so that's
Yeah,
the only thing. You can't wear like cross country spikes, which
yeah.
For
makes
sure.
sense because there are
Biggest
things.
tip of this course, and anyone that has big hills is like, just like she said, is that when it comes to this, the last thing you want to do is waste more expenditure by slipping with your feet each and every. There's nothing like, we've all been there where
hmm
you keep going backwards and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't even know where to go. My thighs are already burning right now. Too bad I didn't have good shoes. Shoes are almost everything when it comes to
Mhm.
equipment, even though there's way more that we can talk about, but it's your big one, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shoes are big, and then clothing too. We should talk about that because you'll see questions in the Spartan Canada community. What are you wearing? Like, it's going to be probably 5 degrees when we start in the morning, maybe even 2, 3, 4, who knows? And then by 11, 12, it'll be 12, 13, 14, 15 degrees. And that's completely different clothing.
Mhm.
So we should get into that. What do you do, Amber? What is your go-to with running gear? Or are you kind of figuring that out?
I am I like hot. I don't do cold. Like I'm the biggest baby. So you probably should not take advice from me.
Okay,
Like
that's good
in
though.
in 5-degree weather, I'm probably in a full-blown Under Armour,
Mhm.
like layered up, just ready to go get to the top of the hill and want to shred it all off. But that's the thing. Take notes. Like I know because I've taken notes on like when I've done other races and I've showed up freezing cold in my Under Armour and 10 minutes in wanted to take it all off. So I take notes on like what was the weather like so I can remember and be like, okay, no, like you've done this before. It's gonna suck for 5 minutes. But I mean, generally you're going straight up a hill, so you're gonna warm up real quickly. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not saying show up in a tank top in -degree weather. However, just do what's gonna make sense for you, knowing that a few minutes into the race, your body temperature is gonna be a lot higher than it was when you started. And if you're racing competitively, you're not allowed to like leave things out on course.
Mm.
So you
Sure.
can't like shed layers and leave it up on the hill and then come back for it later. Like that's not allowed. So keep that in mind as well. Um, so yeah, I mean, don't take advice from me because I still would probably show up in my Under Armour for credit.
Yeah.
But do what makes sense for you. If you run hot, then you probably don't really need anything more than a t-shirt, to be honest.
Especially because we know it's not going to be -12 at the top of the hill. Like
Yeah.
that's not going to be a thing. If it was, I would say bring your coat and then tie it around your waist. But I am like you, Amber. I might still have like I'll probably have a layer on like that I'm wearing now, and I can roll this up. That actually works for me in the day. And
Mhm.
then this might just come off, and I'll just wear the hydration pack and a bra on the back half of the race. So
Yeah.
and then I'll
Yeah.
stuff that down the hydration pack. So
Yeah, and if you can do that, that's great.
yeah,
Um,
because I don't like starting cold personally. I know people
yeah.
do it. I know you can suck it up and just do it, but also your fingers. Connor was talking about that before. If your hands get cold, especially because of a lot of the big stuff is at the beginning when it's going to be cold in the morning, keep your hands warm. So
Mhm.
if you have gloves to wear, if you're going to bring something like that, it's a good idea to have them just to take off. Maybe I personally wear gloves that split apart and I can get my hands out. The Bleg mitts, those are amazing. They're also like a neoprene kind of material, so they can get wet and they keep it insulated. And then your hand stays warm. And if it's under -10, I actually bring hot packs with me and keep them in my little glovey things. And then when I do obstacles, I take them out, because if your hand, my hands get so cold, like, and as soon as your hands are cold, you're done.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think there's like I think exactly like I said, like I'm the opposites. I run so hot, so fast. I did Blue Mountain. I think I told you guys where I passed down that hill when I had my first podcast with you. I was in like full Under Armour, and this was like
Oh,
that was
no.
when it was like whatever, super hot, like 21 degrees, and it's the beast. So I think here's a big thing too. If you're doing the beast and you're starting later, first of all, take into account you're going to be out there for 3-4+ hours,
Mhm.
so it's going to be hot. Obviously, electrolyte imbalance is going to become a thing if you're a sweater like I am. So I had way too much stuff on. I had a pair of Under Armour like tights, a pair of Under Armour long sleeve. I had a long sleeve on and then a jacket over top of that. I had a hat on and then I had shorts with long socks. And I remember I failed the
Okay, that's
first
even a lot for
obstacle.
me.
I,
And
I
probably
failed the
Amber.
first obstacle, and it was like at the top of like the Hercules as it rained the night before, and I dropped it and splashed everybody and said sorry. And we had to give our headband over to the guy, and we gave it to the guy so he could have our headband when we did our burpees. This is so we're back far away to go. And I do my burpees, and he takes my headband and goes, "Dude, it's been like 10 minutes." He's like, "How is it this wet already?" And I'm like, "Oh no." So point being is that I couldn't take anything off. I sweat so much during that time. And then I got to the end of it and I was so woozy because I was sweating so much and I didn't have enough water because it was my first time. So bring water, dress. So my biggest thing is now, if I can wear a very light coat or a very light like Patagonia jacket, a Houdini one, and I can compress it and shove it in my pocket if it's really cold, that's really
Mhm.
nice. If I can do something like that so it's breathable. Otherwise, what you guys are saying is huge. Like it's gonna be for this one, it's gonna be, I think I'm looking at right now, like 20 degrees basically by the height of it of like 12 or 1 p.m. And the morning is
That's
gonna be
gonna be
around
hot.
8 or 9 or 10. So it's still gonna be
Mhm.
warm enough. And like Amber said, you're gonna warm up on that first one too. So
Mhm.
try to be cognizant of not wearing too much, but definitely don't under prepare at the same time. Especially if it's your first time and you're thinking about really pacing it, because then you're not going to warm up super, super fast too.
Mhm.
But don't wear full Under Armour. I don't think you need to do that.
No,
No,
and
and I
keep your
mean,
hands warm.
That's a shot against me, not against you, Amber. Sorry. Yeah.
no, and you know what? I mean, I've done that before too, and I run cold, and that's what I was telling people. I was like, you know what? That's why I took notes of a few other races and what the temperature was when we started, and this one, like, if it was going to be 5 degrees when I'm starting, knowing even though I run cold, I probably would go out in a t-shirt, to be
Mhm.
honest. So if that helps anybody who generally runs cold, like 5 degrees, I don't think I'd be wearing my full Under Armour because I've done that before with the 5 degree temperature start, and I instantly regretted it halfway up the hill. So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind. But again, I was racing, like Connor said, a little bit more competitively. And if you're just going out for a fun
Mhm.
lap, yeah, I probably would wear my Under Armour then.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
just depends on what your intentions are with the race and what your pace is going to be like. So
Mhm.
anyways, I think that's kind of everything Blue Mountain. If you have
Mhm.
any other questions, you can find all of us on Instagram. Feel free to just reach out, or you can comment on this post. We'd love to hear from you guys, or hit us up in any of the Spartan Canada Facebook pages. There's lots of networks and community there you can also interact with. So